for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to ask another question that has not yet been answered by the House. This question will be the third in a series of critical issues that have not yet been resolved, and I will continue to raise additional questions for the next 9 legislative days until we depart for August recess, keeping in mind that the one-year anniversary of the Benghazi attacks will be upon us when the Congress returns in September. It is also noteworthy that there does not appear to be a single hearing on Benghazi scheduled in any committee between now and the one-year anniversary. That is why, in the absence of public hearings to address these questions, I am raising them on the House floor this month. On Tuesday, I raised the question of why none of the Benghazi survivors, whether State Department, CIA, or private security contract employee, have testified publicly before Congress. Yesterday, I asked about whether there had been any intelligence failures in the vetting of the Libyan militias who abandoned the Americans at the consulate as the assault began. I also asked who provided the terrorists with a detailed understanding of the consulate property. Today, I return again to the Benghazi survivors and other career employees and contractors working for the CIA, Defense Department, and the State Department who were involved in the response or lack thereof to the Benghazi attacks. According to trusted sources that have contacted my office, many, if not all, of the survivors of the Benghazi attacks, along with others at the Department of Defense and CIA, have been asked or directed to sign additional non-disclosure agreements about their involvement in the Benghazi attacks. Some of these new NDAs, as they call them, I've been told, were signed as recently as this summer. It is worth noting that the Marine Corps Times yesterday reported that the Marine colonel whose task force was responsible for special operations in northern and western Africa at the time of the attack is still on active duty, despite claims that he retired, and therefore could not be forced to testify before Congress. If these reports are accurate, this would be a stunning revelation to any member of Congress. Any member of Congress that finds this out, and also, more importantly, to the American people. It also raises serious concerns about the propriety of the administration's efforts to silence those with knowledge of the Benghazi attack and response. So today, I ask, how many federal employees, military personnel, or contractors have been asked to sign additional non-disclosure agreements by each agency? And do these non-disclosure agreements apply only to those undercover, or have non-covert State Department and Defense Department employees been directed to sign them too? Later today, I'll be writing the CIA, Defense Department, State Department to ask for a list of all of their personnel or contractors who have been required to sign original or additional NDA relating to Benghazi. Perhaps through a list of all the employees that have signed the NDAs relating to Benghazi, we may finally develop a witness list to subpoena for eyewitness testimony to learn what happened that night where we lost 4 American lives. I do not expect the Obama administration to be forthcoming with answers, but if this Congress does not ask for the information and compel its delivery, the American people will never learn the truth. Any federal employee or contractor who has been coerced into silence through a non-disclosure agreement should expect the Congress to speak out on their behalf and compel their voice to be heard. That is why I, along with 159 of my colleagues, support a select committee to hold public hearings to learn the truth about what happened that night in Benghazi. I say to any colleague who is not on our resolution, if you are not on our resolution, please get on so we can find the truth for the American people. And I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from